Thinking about how this broken economy has just disrupted so many traditional understandings, at least post-World War II era understandings of family. When you do things, how you do it. It's going to be something to see social demographers and political scientists and sociologists 50 years from now writing about this moment.
We both have professional careers that are going pretty well, and we didn't realize what an outlier it is for neither one of us to kind of seriously step back from our jobs as we have these kids at this young age. And we started looking around like, that's actually most of our friends, even if the people kept working, one of them started working 2/3 time or something like that, while the other one was working full time. And we didn't do that. And, we understand why people would do that if you can afford it.
I mean, when you got money and you got resources, everything, when you can call grandma or grandpa up for a big check, or you get married. One of my ex-girlfriends just wasn't ready to get married. We were together for years. Wonderful, wonderful person. And I always think to myself, my God, I would have married into money. And I was like, man, my life, the student loans would have paid off. They would have given us a house for the wedding. And there are moments where I sit back and be like, oh, the world would have been so different.
It's real. I've dated women, I've had serious girlfriends of very different economic backgrounds. And we didn't get anything from my wife's family, but I did marry into a woman who's becoming a pharmacist and is, has a good salary and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, wow, I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I just kind of worked out this way. But if I would have worked out some of my poorer, more working class girlfriends, man, we would be in a much different type of place, much more challenging financially. It just, those things mean a lot, particularly when no one has any wealth. And so it really all is on what income you're doing right now. It's not more white families where someone doesn't have to make that much money, but you still can inherit some things. And
what is the difference between wealth and income? And that's when I was growing up, one of my best friends, his grandfathers were like my adopted Irish grandfather. We used to joke. He and I had more common interests than he had with his son. So he and I were always together, hanging out at the bowling alley or doing and various things. He was like a millionaire next door type. And I just wish I had listened to his lessons about money, because he's passing on all this knowledge to this working class black kid. And at the time, I didn't have a framework for understanding it. Basic things. We'd sit down and he'd show me how we pick stocks. And it wasn't done like in a pretentious way. Let me show the little black boy. He's like, no, I care about you. He's like, no, pick things you know. Stay on top of things. And he's like, I got a lot of money. And you would never know it. But he's like, let me tell you how I got it. Always save. Always pay yourself first. Good debt, bad debt. All this wisdom he passed on. But unfortunately, a lot of folks don't have that sort of intergenerational connection, because it's not that black folks bad with money. If you don't have somebody to teach you something, to tell you who knows, well, where are you going to end up?
You learn best when you're at the right economic moment to take that information in. So it's hard, too, to give information about stocks and savings when you can't really pay your rent, right? I guess it's hard to take that in. You kind of even need to have some type of financially secure moment to think about that next step, and so it's a mix of all those things. And that's why some of our older generations don't have that, because that's never been able to click to them, because they were just happy that they were paying rent and they got their kid alive through school. It's hard to think beyond that.
And that was a great success. So they're saying we're doing okay. We're doing better than the previous generation. I was thinking money can do. Certainly, I'm far, far, far from affluent. I still consider myself very working class. But for example, thinking about like yesterday, right? I went to see Blade Runner 2049. And I was like, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to stay out late. I'm going to go get a meal afterwards, get a few drinks, get a cab home. And it's like $100. And it's like, okay, I can do that and not really care. But there are other folks out there where that's the money they got for the week. And you think about all the stress that causes health outcomes. I certainly got a ton of debt, but I'm like, man, it's just scary to think that some folks can't indulge themselves and their family, in this case just myself, and blow $100 on something they want to just spend it on.
That's what I realized. To me and my wife, we make a good amount of money, probably definitely in the top 10% in the country, and for blacks, probably top 5%. And to me, making it means the kids want to go eat out. Let's go eat out. We can do it. It doesn't have to be McDonald's, right? It can be, and we have a home and these types of things. But it's those basic things, right? Most people can't just tonight I'm going to blow $100 on something, because that means they won't have rent money. So it's just a very different situation people live in. And again, that's part of what the report we're trying to develop and get into. What is middle class wealth? What is this kind of idea of middle class stability that allows, well, it doesn't mean you're rich and wealthy. I think that's something that we have such a hard time in our society differentiating between being wealthy and having a whole bunch of money, and more so just having a true middle class lifestyle, not a Huxtable lifestyle or a Blackish family lifestyle where that's really Blackish millionaires, Cosby, 1%, but, a middle class lifestyle where, you can afford a mortgage and you can afford to go out to eat. And that's exciting, and that's a positive thing.
But you said something funny there. Who would have thought Bill Cosby, this situation we've been in with Bill Cosby, and some folks heard about this monster, but I mean, to see it unfold, I can't even watch the Cosby Show anymore. I'm like,